all the bullying, all the things she's done to people. Now she can't get anyone to support her and to be on, to work for her. And it says a lot about the kind of person you are. There's so many examples of different things that have been going on with Meghan and then with her marriage. You just look at everything as a flop. The charity, the marriage, the relationships, everything that you do, it just turns to dust.
And the most hilarious royal story of the week. Meghan Markle's embattled lifestyle business, American Riviera Orchard, has already been written off as a flop by Business Insiders before she has sold a single product. This is after her search for a chief executive resulted in her having to appoint herself to the role. So, has Hollywood really turned after she was branded a dictator in high heels by her former staff? P-Dina, royal YouTube sensation, joins me now. Now, P-Dina, of course, we know Meghan Markle is a compulsive liar. She's trying to say, oh, this was always the plan. This was always the plan. No, it wasn't, because you spent most of the year looking for a CEO. No one good wants to work for her anymore.
Oh my goodness, her reputation is finally caught up with her, hasn't it? I mean, I am just looking at this in so much joy because you really are seeing someone getting what they have put out. All the bullying, all the things she's done to people. Now she can't get anyone to support her and to be on, to work for her. And it says a lot about the kind of person you are. There's so many examples of different things that have been going on with Meghan and then with her marriage. You just look at everything as a flop. The charity, the marriage, the relationships, everything that you do, it just turns to dust. It doesn't really pan out in a meaningful way. You can't even get anyone to now work for you. And now we have to see these articles that she's hiring herself. That is laughable. Okay. We have seen all the articles about trying to hire someone to work for her. And I guess at this point, she's like, well, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. Even if I have to do it myself, I'm going to make it happen. And I don't care what anyone else says. That's the attitude that she has now because she knows she's lost and she's trying to maintain herself above that water so she can just keep moving forward. Because remember, she's very tenacious. She's not going to give up. Even if it makes her look like a moron, she's going to keep trying. Okay. I'm going to tell you that right now. The girl does not care. She's going to keep trying. And that's what she's doing. That's why she's the
Yeah,
CEO
I mean,
now.
look, Lady Colin Campbell always describes her as a hustler, right? And I guess
Oh,
she is
yeah,
a hustler. And we know
she
she's a
is.
hustler, but the thing is, it's just so embarrassing given that she didn't need to hustle if she just treated people decently. It was all handed to her on a platter. But look, P-Dina, I just want to read to you how Richard Eden in the Daily Mail reported this because I think it's good fun, actually. He wrote, having announced her new cooking and lifestyle business, American Riviera Orchard, with great fanfare back in March, the Duchess of Sussex began a search for a suitable chief executive officer. Meghan is interviewing candidates for the CEO role at the moment, a source told him at the time. Despite having interviewed several candidates for the position, Prince Harry's wife was unable to find anyone who matched her expectations. Now, insiders say she has found the perfect candidate herself. A source in the know told the New York Post, that's where they leak all of their information to. She is the CEO of American Riviera Orchard. In April, a Californian based source told Richard Eden the initial CEO search has not panned out so far. And of course, this business is already proving a joke. I mean, look, there's one of the jam jars that they sent out to all of these influencers months ago. But P-Dina, did they not understand that the whole reason you send stuff out to influencers is because you have a product to launch? That's how business works. All she has is an Instagram page. It's almost like because that's what she did with the TIG, P-Dina, that's the
Mhm.
limits of her business expertise. She doesn't understand. You need to have product ready to go. You need to have patents. You need to have copyright. She had none of this sorted. And the idea that she can do it without a chief executive is just laughable.
It just shows you how far she has fallen and how she is trying to maintain something that will never pan out the way she wants it to. And it's really embarrassing. And I mean, just to go back real quickly to Harry, I think this is why he doesn't want to be aligned professionally with her anymore because it's so not royal like. Royalty would have this all ready to go, and you would be ready to send out the gem and put it on the website with the cost and, the ingredients, like the proper labels. She doesn't even have that. It just looks so cheap and so one man show kind of a thing. You're supposed to have a team behind you. You're supposed to have advisors and so much more. And I think it shows to how much she doesn't want to listen to other people and how she can't take advice. It says so much about her character when we see that she's now succumbed to being her own CEO. It says so much about her. People are, I guess, seeing this and saying, yeah, we expected this to happen. This is exactly how it is. It's very TIG-like for her. I don't know if she really sold things that she created though on the TIG. And this might be part of the problem. This is all very new for her. And she thinks she can do it. But yeah, it's had a horrible launch. It's not going to do well when it does become available. But I also think because her name, the patented name, is not confirmed, she's trying to now get rid of her attorney. I heard because they can't get the copyright on the name American Riviera Orchard. So, like, what you expect the lawyer to be able to do something they can't do? Even though, I mean, you wanna still have this name? That doesn't even make sense. Like, I mean, she's so spoiled. She thinks that, well, if she wants it, she should be able to get it. That's her attitude because she's so entitled in her upbringing. And I don't know what to say. This woman has we were all right from the very beginning talking about this woman. We saw it. Did we not see it? We saw it from the day she came into the royal family. Everything that is happening is a projection of what we saw coming because of the kind of person she is, her background. William saw it, being,
Mhm.
that he told Harry about this woman, and it proves William right from the very beginning. And
Big
I
time.
think Harry sees it now. He sees.
But P-Dina, it's interesting because it's nearly 5 years since I broke the story of Megxit, and I'm thinking about some of the parallels between the Megxit announcement and the American Riviera Orchard announcement. And hear me out because there are actually loads. Do you remember all Meghan cared about was putting up the Megxit announcement on her crappy little website to beat me breaking the story in the Sun. But the problem was what that meant is the announcement that she put up did not have approval of anyone. No one knew about it. It was just fantasy. And it really does strike me that sometimes she just presses the button on something. It's like, oh, let's just press the button on American Riviera Orchard, and she just thinks things will happen. But it doesn't.
Mhm.
It's because just like with Megxit, there's actually no plan in place for American Riviera Orchard. And I think it just shows that she's the sort of person who throws her toys out of the cot and just demands. And actually, I should not totally excuse Harry in the Megxit thing either, because he was really behind just putting up this information on Instagram and this special website that they'd created with their mates over Christmas. And it's like, do you really think you're going to jump Queen Elizabeth II into that sort of announcement? I mean, Queen Elizabeth II wouldn't even allow her own sister to marry the love of her life. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing the late Queen at all. I'm just saying the idea that some crappy little website that Meghan Markle had designed over Christmas was not going to force the late Queen into a decision. And it's the same thing with American Riviera Orchard. All style, no substance.
No substance. So much about her character. That is what it actually reveals. It's the petty, entitled attitude, and it's not about the substance of the product. And that's very similar to the substance of the charity. Everything revolves around Megan's ego. And so this is why you see this failure of a launch with this product, and how we know her charity is not about helping people. It's all about Megan and what she's trying to convey, the picture she's trying to paint for people. And it gives you the insight to a person, above anything else because of how she's made her choices, how everything has launched and what she's doing. And that's the picture people need to understand because the bigger picture is protecting the people that she's claiming to try to want to help and to support because that is where we draw the line. You cannot start trying to say you're going to help young people and do all these things that are going to help vulnerable youth and then go off and do these things that we know that you're
Who's
not really
that,
mean.
P-Dina? I'm so distracted now. I'm so distracted. Show
It's
us,
my
please. Show
doggy
us, please.
Otis.
Oh, him or her?
It's a boy.
And what's his
He is
name?
Otis,
Oh,
Otis,
oh,
Otis. And I don't know, did you know dog in Best in Show? A pug
yeah, yeah, yeah.
won. So yeah, it's my pug,
Beautiful. I love it. Well,
Otis.
great to have you with us, Otis. Uh, let's move on though, Peter, because I want to ask about this Harry court case, the security one, because I think it
Mm.
is so shameless that he is now planning to cite Taylor Swift in his appeal. I knew he was going to do this, by the way. It was so obvious he was going to do this. Now, the background to this, of course, is that Taylor Swift needed a police security escort, according to her mother, because they were basically like, there has been a serious threat to our concerts in Vienna, Austria. They didn't take place, it was an Islamist threat. And so the only way she was going to continue performing in London was if she had that police escort. Now, the decision actually went right up to the mayor of London, to the Home Secretary, potentially even to the Prime Minister. It was a really controversial decision, P-Dina. Lots of people don't think Taylor Swift should have had a police security escort. But the point is, there had been a specific threat to her safety. And by the way, if Taylor Swift had cancelled those concerts at Wembley Stadium, it would have cost the British economy something in the line of £1 billion. So I'm not necessarily saying that Taylor Swift should have received a police escort, but what I am saying is that it's completely outrageous for Harry to bring this into his case against his own father's government.
Yeah, I think it's him trying to align himself with a status that he doesn't have because if you think that you are going to bring something like this in to equate what Taylor Swift needs, I think it shows your mindset and how you think that you are of equal status. You are someone that is entitled to something. I mean, I think Harry is so misguided in so many things. I'm just surprised that there's not someone that could come in and help him with some of these decisions and things that he's trying to do because he's a prince, and I mean, I don't know. Taylor Swift, I think that would have been a big loss too, had she not the concert gone on. So it's surprising to me that he doesn't have more better insight in his circle, considering his background. It just that's my opinion anyway.
The problem is they've all been swept away, haven't they, P. Dean? They've all been
But
swept away.
isn't there somebody? I mean, isn't there just
Not
some
really
role
now.
person that worked? No, I
Not
mean,
really now. I mean, look, I know the guy who has stayed loyal to them. He was the deputy to Sarah Latham, but he's a yes man. He's a yes
okay.
man. And when he was part of their royal operation, he was their yes man. But I think the issue for me is that, come on, stop throwing all of this dirt at the UK government. If there was a serious threat against you, like the UK government said there was a serious threat against Taylor Swift, who, let's remember, met with Prince William, Prince George, and Charlotte. I mean, there was Starmer himself, the British Prime Minister, was at that concert. Like there was a real need to protect that concert because of all of the people who were there. And I just think
Right.
if there was a similar threat against Harry, no one's saying that Harry would not receive a security escort, but there has to be the threat in place. Do you see what I
Exactly,
mean?
but I think yeah, but part of the problem I think is what Harry did that has really spooked him, and that is when he talked about the Taliban and the killing of the Taliban members. I think because some of the UK generals came out and spoke about that, how that is going to be a threat against him and his family. Although there may not be one currently, I think that is in the back of his mind. And I think he is spooked by the fact that he did do that. and he's got this in his head that he has to have this amount of security, and
Well,
that could
well,
be
well, the
part
thing is, he might have that in his head, but he was told very
of their
clearly a
weapons.
consequence of Megxit is that you are
Mhm.
not going to receive the security. And that's
Yeah.
why lots of people within the family begged him not to. Now, where he would have kept the security, P-Dina, is if he had, for example, agreed to stay within the royal family, but potentially move to South Africa or Canada or New Zealand or Australia. All of that stuff was being discussed, and there would have been a deal done. But,
Mm.
that
Yeah.
was the problem. They published their piece. Oh, we want to make lots of money. Oh, but we're going to stay sort of in the royal family when it suits us. Well, no, you don't get security. And even Justin Trudeau, the leftist prime minister of Canada, who is a friend by all accounts of Harry and Meghan, of course he is, was not prepared to take the political flack of providing them with fully paid government
And they can.
security in Canada. So
That's
it's
right.
nothing to do with the political stripes of the government. It's just not something that's palatable for
Yeah.
anyone to provide private citizens who are earning hundreds of millions of dollars with state security. When Harry was a
Right.
member of the royal family, he couldn't earn his own money. That's the whole point. So he did receive that protection. But look, one other big scandal of the week, P. Dina, that I want to discuss with you is African parks, because this is Harry's charity, right? And the allegations, I mean, I know he's now on the board when he was previously president, but he's still really involved. I mean, when he moved to the board last year, it was actually described as a promotion, P. Dina, and we haven't
Mm.
heard a word from him about this scandal that has rocked the charity. The details are absolutely horrific. So this is women in the Republic of Congo being raped and tortured, sometimes suffering sexual assault when they have their baby in their arms. On another
Mm.
occasion, one being physically assaulted to the point where she lost her unborn baby. And we have not heard a word from Prince Harry on it. So I know the details are dark, but I'm like, how is he getting away with this? Like, the only mainstream media organizations reporting on this are the Mail on Sunday and Newsweek, and I give them credit for doing so. But why is the rest of the media just ignoring this scandal? But first, you know how I often talk about the need for free speech to be protected, but I've been increasingly thinking of the need for personal protection online from snoopers, bad actors, and hackers, and I've found a fail-safe solution. But what's more, this VPN is also life-changing when it comes to providing you entertainment and information from anywhere in the world. So let me introduce you to Surfshark. This is an incredible and easy way to use a service that encrypts your internet traffic. Basically, what that means, let me explain it to you if it's your first time hearing about a VPN. It means that all your online activities stay safe so you can shop, stream, browse, and conduct your banking online in complete privacy. But there are lots of practical benefits too. Surfshark allows you to access your favorite entertainment and news shows and channels from anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter where you are, including streaming services like Hulu, iPlayer, HBO Max, and Peacock. Or if one of your favorite shows happens to be blocked in the country that you're in on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Disney Plus, you will be able to, within seconds, be watching as if you're in another country. Really clever for sport content too. If you're traveling for work or on holiday, you can get all your favorite games. There's also an insurance policy here because you know lots of countries are heading towards censorship. France has even blocked Rumble for months now, but this allows you to watch anything, anytime, anywhere. It is true freedom. A VPN like Surfshark can save you money too because you can get the best deals from websites that change prices depending on where you are buying from. So you can be quite crafty with it. Lots of other benefits with the Surfshark deal. Unlimited devices, which means your entire household can stay safe with just one description. There are over 3,200 servers in over 100 countries, meaning there is a world of choice at your fingertips. And I know the whole concept of a VPN is new to some of you, but there is 24/7 customer service if this is your first time. So it's a no-brainer to go to surfshark.com/outspoken for an extra 4 months of Surfshark at an unbeatable price. Surfshark is so confident that they're the best in the world that you can try it for 30 days. If you're not entirely satisfied with the service, you'll get your money back. I think you will be, though. I use it and it has been utterly brilliant. So go to surfshark.com/outspoken for an extra 4 months of Surfshark at an unbeatable price. But now, back to the show.
I don't understand it. And we do remember he went to New York to
Mm,
even get or to talk about
yeah, just a
African
few
parts.
weeks ago.
Yeah, he talked about it, but he didn't mention that. And it's all about his ego. I think it's all Megan as well. It's about the prestige of being able to talk about these things, but to not really have action behind it. And I don't understand why, yeah, more people are not talking about this. And you would think Megan, as an advocate for women, would be speaking on behalf of these women who are having this done to them and to make some headway about it. Harry's not addressing it, and it's just more alignment to how they're not really about doing the good work. They're not about the show up and do good because they're not doing anything to help these people. Harry should be ashamed of himself for not addressing this. The only thing I think he did was he sent out an email and brought it to someone's attention and basically has washed his hands of it. This is this is not acceptable, especially when you're in a leadership position. Harry needs to learn how to step up, address it, no matter how difficult it is to speak about it. You don't ignore it because it's going to get worse and worse. And people should be calling him out like crazy in the media about this because this has been going on. I've heard for over a year.
Yeah,
We're just not getting the wind of it,
and I mean, he
right?
claims he's a humanitarian. It's just
It's
astonishing.
so
It's just utterly, utterly astonishing. And look, you can't blame him for potentially nefarious acts being committed by the Rangers, but I absolutely can blame him for his total silence on this issue, for the fact that he's just hiding behind inquiry after inquiry without actually revealing what has changed, if anything has changed, without talking about the veracity of these allegations. And again, I think he's being given a very, very sort of easy ride on this
yeah.
story, actually. And I think one of the reasons is because the details are just so dark. It
Yeah.
is so horrible to hear what is happening to those women. But P-Dina, goodness
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
not a great week. Not a great
Not a
week
good
for
week
Harry and
at
Meghan, but
all.
actually a really good week for the royal family because the state banquet went brilliantly.
So nice.
We saw
Mhm.
Catherine and Camilla. Okay, they weren't back to full-time duties, but we saw Camilla at the banquet and Catherine was there in the morning. Clearly a beautiful dynamic going on with her and William. So
Mhm.
unfortunately, it does feel like as time goes on, the royal family gets stronger and Harry and Meghan get weaker.
Yeah, and I listened to the King's speech too when he spoke, and he talked about things that would definitely do Harry some good, talking about responsibility and showing kindness and all the things that he addressed in his speech really resonated with me because it shows how Harry is not doing the things that his father is talking about amongst all these leaders, and it shows how they are rising above doing the work that is meaningful, especially Catherine. I just really love the work that she does and how she delivers her messaging, her branding. She's very likable. And Harry had this good relationship with Catherine, but just being
Threw it
there
away.
at the base,
Threw it away.
yeah,
And
threw it away.
and look, there is the Queen showing up with pneumonia. I know people say she's just over it, but it takes a
Yeah.
long time, right, to get
Yeah.
that type of pneumonia out of her system. And there she is, because it's what the royals do. Wherever they can, they show up. They are there to be seen. But P-Dina,
Yeah.
you know I love having you. Everyone has to follow the great P-Dina on YouTube. I will put the details in the show notes, but you know I love having you so much on Outspoken.
I love being here. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, P-Dina. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.